The most dangerous lie you've ever told yourself is that you can recognize an enemy by the look in their eyes. You believe war happens on a battlefield, but the most devastating wars are won at the dinner table, over a bottle of wine, and in the safe spaces of your inner circle. The street-level enemy is a gift. You see them coming, you hear their threats, you prepare your defense, but the person who finally destroys you will never be someone you hate. It will be the person you allowed to love you. A stranger cannot ruin your life, because a stranger has no access to your perimeter. They are standing outside the gates. The only person who can actually dismantle your world is the one you handed the keys to. The one who sat at your table, listened to your insecurities, and mapped out the exact geometry of your heart while you were busy calling them a friend or a brother. Right now, you are replaying memories like a crime scene investigator. You are looking for the exact moment the mask slipped, but you can't find it. Why? Because you didn't just ignore the red flags. You actively painted them white to match your own delusions. You projected your own integrity onto a wolf and felt safe because the wolf was smiling. You likely believe that trust is a feeling, a warmth in your chest that tells you someone is a good person. 500 years ago, Niccolò Machiavelli, the man whose name became synonymous with the dark mechanics of the state, would find that belief pathetic. He didn't write for the people who wanted to be good. He wrote for the people who wanted to survive. His work was so devastatingly accurate that for centuries, rulers publicly condemned his name while privately obsessing over his every word. They called him a teacher of evil because he dared to expose the truth. They used to keep you submissive. He did not document how men should behave in a perfect world. He stripped away the mask to show how they behave when power is on the line. And his verdict on your trusted circle is absolute. Most people are not loyal to you. They are loyal to the utility you provide. The moment your value drops or your enemy's status rises, the friendship you've built your life on will liquidate like a failing currency. You think the person who mirrors your every thought is your soulmate. You believe the friend who stays neutral during your conflict is mature. You are convinced the person who constantly broadcasts their virtue is safe. In the eyes of Machiavelli, you are not being a good friend. You are being a perfect victim. You are ignoring the 3 silent tells that reveal a dormant predator long before they draw the blade. These aren't obvious red flags. They are the subtle, infectious patterns that the world calls innocent, but a master of power recognizes as the opening moves of a betrayal. There are 3 specific behavioral signatures, 3 innocent signs that reveal a person who is incapable of loyalty. They are currently in your life. They are checking in on you. They are laughing at your jokes. And they are waiting for the exact moment your back is turned to draw the blade. These are not guesses. These are the dark mechanics of social survival. We are going to audit your circle using 3 specific high-precision signs, patterns that are almost impossible to fake and dangerous to ignore. These are not obvious red flags. They are the subtle tells of a person who is incapable of loyalty. The person who eventually betrays you doesn't start by being your enemy. They start by being your reflection. Think about the last time you met someone and felt an instant, almost supernatural connection. Within 2 weeks, they liked the same obscure music as you. They shared your specific niche frustrations with the industry. They even seemed to have the exact same enemies and the same vision for the future. You felt seen. You felt like you had finally found a twin in a world of strangers. You called it chemistry. You called it fate. Machiavelli would call it a successful infiltration. He understood that men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions. When someone mirrors your identity perfectly, they aren't showing you who they are showing you who you are, because they know that humans are narcissistically wired to trust what looks like themselves. They are using your own personality as a camouflage to bypass your security systems. Sign 1. The tactical mirror. This is the insta-twin. Their primary weapon is the illusion of sameness. They watch you, they study your triggers, they notice what makes you laugh and what makes you angry, and then they play those exact notes back to you. Why? Because it is impossible to hate someone who is exactly like you. It is impossible to be suspicious of your own reflection. They are speedrunning the trust process by hacking your biology. Real trust takes years of shared conflict and proven sacrifice. The tactical mirror tries to manufacture that depth in 3 weeks by pretending to be your long-lost twin. Real trust is a slow, grinding process of friction. It's built over years of seeing how someone reacts when things go wrong, when money is tight, or when you are no longer useful to them. But the tactical mirror can't wait for years. They need access now, so they hack the process. By reflecting your values back to you, they create an artificial debt of soul. You feel like you owe them your loyalty because they understand you so well. This is the most dangerous form of psychological infiltration because it bypasses your critical thinking by appealing to your narcissism. We all love our own reflection. When someone reflects our values, our speech patterns, and our goals back to us, our brain releases dopamine. It shuts down the stranger danger alarm and opens the heavy gates of the inner sanctum. Look at your circle right now. Identify the person who has no independent opinions, the person who always agrees with your rants before you even finish the sentence, the person who adopted your slang and your clothing style within a month of meeting you. You think they are flattering you. In reality, they are studying you. They are gathering the data of your insecurities and your preferences so that when the time comes to manipulate you, they know exactly which buttons to push. A person who is truly loyal has a spine. They have boundaries. They have points of disagreement because they are a separate human being with a separate soul. A person who is exactly like you is a person who is wearing your skin, and the moment they find someone more powerful, more wealthy, or more useful than you, watch how quickly their identity shifts again. They will shed your hobbies and your opinions like a snake sheds old skin, and they will become the twin of your replacement. You aren't losing a friend. You are losing a parasite that ran out of blood. The tactical mirror is dangerous because they have seen you at your most relaxed. They know your private face. They know what makes you angry and what makes you feel small. When they eventually turn, and they always turn, they won't hit you where it's tough. They will hit you in the exact spot they spent months mapping out while you were busy enjoying the connection. The danger of the tactical mirror is that they become an extension of your own ego. When they eventually betray you, and they will, it feels like a suicide. It hurts more because you feel like you betrayed yourself. You gave them the blueprints to your fortress because they wore your uniform. You let them into the vault because they knew the password, forgetting that they only knew the password because they watched you type it in. They have mapped out the exact geometry of your insecurities while you were busy enjoying the vibe. Stop looking for soulmates in the workplace or the social circle. Stop being impressed by people who agree with everything you say. The perfect friend is often just the most talented actor. If you want to find the traitor, look for the person who has no shadow of their own, only a reflection of yours. They are the ones currently holding the keys to your perimeter, waiting for the one moment you stop looking at the mirror and start looking at the hand behind it. If you've ever realized someone was just copying your life to get close to you, drop this in the comments. I see the reflection. You are still looking at them, aren't you? You are replaying that last conversation where they nodded so perfectly at your every word. You felt that rush, that rare, dangerous high of finally being seen. But you aren't being seen. You are being scanned. You are the source code, and they are the virus currently rewriting your security protocols. You think you found a partner in crime, but you've actually just invited a mimic into your vault. The tactical mirror doesn't have a soul of its own. It has a hunger that can only be fed by your identity. Machiavelli noted that the world is occupied by the vulgar, and the most vulgar act of all is the theft of a man's essence through flattery. You are currently the victim of a high-speed personality heist. Think about the way they started using your specific slang. The way they suddenly discovered the same obscure music you mentioned once 3 months ago. You thought it was a sign of a deep cosmic connection. It wasn't. It was the sound of the trap snapping shut. They are building a prison made of your own preferences, and you are happily walking into the cell because the wallpaper looks familiar. The tactical mirror is a coward who hides in your reflection. They don't have the courage to have their own enemies, so they inherit yours. They don't have the discipline to build their own taste, so they strip mine yours. And because you are a person who values loyalty, You feel an obligation to protect this person who seems so much like you. You find yourself defending their laziness or their mistakes because, in your mind, defending them is the same as defending yourself. This is the ultimate social Trojan horse. They have bypassed your judgment by becoming your judgment. Stop and ask yourself, what does this person actually bring to the table besides a yes? If you stop talking right now, would they have a single original thought to contribute? If you changed your mind tomorrow, would they change theirs instantly to match? This isn't friendship, it is a parasitic feedback loop. You are providing the electricity, and they are just a bulb glowing with your light. The moment you run out of power, or the moment they find a brighter source, they will leave you in the dark without a second thought. They aren't loyal to you, they are loyal to the version of themselves they see in your eyes. You need to understand the mechanics of the data dump. When they tell you about their shameful past or their deepest trauma, they are not trusting you, they are buying your silence. It is a psychological down payment. They give you a secret that has no value to them, so that when they inevitably screw you over, you feel too close to them to retaliate. They are leveraging your empathy to build a shield against their own future betrayals. It is clinical, it is calculated, and you are falling for it because you want to feel like a savior. Machiavelli didn't just observe the courts, he observed the human heart's capacity for cold, calculated imitation. He knew that the deceiver will never lack for those who are willing to be deceived. You are willing because it feels good to be matched. It feels good to have a twin. But look at the cost. Every time you let them mirror you, you are losing a piece of your own edge. You are becoming predictable. You are handing over the proprietary code of your character to someone who has no character of their own. A person who mirrors everyone has no soul of their own. They are a collection of stolen parts, and they will discard your part the moment they find a more profitable person to imitate. Stop being the rescuer of someone who is busy sabotaging you. Stop providing the oxygen for someone who is planning to suffocate your reputation. The tactical mirror is only dangerous as long as they have access to the original. The moment you become unpredictable, the moment you start moving in a direction they can't mimic, the mask will begin to tear. They will get frustrated. They will start making mistakes. They will try to guilt trip you back into the twin role. You've changed, they'll say. You aren't the person I thought you were. Translation: you're no longer easy to copy. This is the point where most people fold. They feel bad. They want to go back to the good times. But the good times were a simulation. You were falling in love with a ghost in a machine. Machiavelli would tell you that it is much safer to be feared than loved. If one of the two must be lacking, it is time to let this person fear your silence. It is time to let them fear your sudden, unexplained distance. You don't owe an explanation to a parasite. You don't need to talk it out with a mirror. The next time they try to echo your soul, look them in the eye and stay silent. The discomfort you feel in that silence is the sound of your power returning. There is a specific type of traitor who is far more dangerous than the one who hates you. The one who hates you is a known quantity, but this person is an invisible ghost. They aren't a liar in the traditional sense. They are a market speculator. They are currently holding your friendship like a stock, and the moment they see a dip in your social value, or the moment they see a more profitable IPO in your enemy, they will liquidate you without a single night of lost sleep. They aren't staying neutral because they are mature. They are staying neutral because they are waiting to see who the winner is, so they can congratulate them first. Sign 2. The status hedger. This is the person who is your brother in the shadows, but a stranger in the light. When it's just the two of you, they are your biggest supporter. They validate your anger. They agree with your vision, and they toast to your success. But watch what happens when you enter a room where someone with more power than you starts to poke at your reputation. Watch the hedger's eyes. They don't jump to your defense. They don't shut down the gossip. They sit there with a slight polite smile, nodding just enough to stay in the conversation, but not enough to be tied to your side. This is status hedging. Their loyalty is a derivative of your current social market value. They aren't invested in you. They are invested in the access you provide. If you are the top dog, they are your shadow. If you fall, they aren't going to pull you up. They are going to step over your body to shake the hand of the man who pushed you. They are friends with everyone. because they are truly friends with no one. They are loyal to the room, to the hierarchy, and to their own upward mobility. Think about the last time you were in a group chat or a meeting and someone made a joke that was actually a direct insult to your character. The status hedger was there. Did they speak up? No. They probably laughed just a little to show the big player in the room that they are good sports. They would rather see you humiliated than risk their own standing with someone they perceive as more useful than you. They are using your friendship as a placeholder until someone better comes along. You've been making excuses for this. You say, that's just their personality. They hate conflict. Stop lying to yourself. They don't hate conflict. They hate losing. If the person attacking you was a nobody, the hedger would have defended you in a heartbeat to look like a hero. But because the person attacking you has leverage, the hedger has suddenly lost their voice. Machiavelli would tell you that the neutral man is a hidden enemy. By refusing to stand for you, they are actively participating in your isolation. They are signaling to your enemies that you have no backup. They are inviting the wolves to your door by showing that the gate is unguarded. Look at their social media. Look at who they like and who they follow. You'll notice they are always orbiting the most powerful person in any given circle. They are social climbers who use people as rungs on a ladder. You are currently a rung. As long as you are moving up, they will stay attached to your feet. The moment you slip, they will let go so fast it will give you whiplash. They don't want to be on the wrong side of history, and in their world, the wrong side is whoever is losing the current power struggle. You have been giving this person your loyalty for free. You've been sharing your plans, your resources, and your network with someone who would deny they ever knew you if it meant getting a seat at a bigger table. You are subsidizing your own replacement. Every time you bring the hedger into a room they haven't earned, you are giving them the chance to audit the other people there and decide if you are still the best horse to bet on. Machiavelli warned that he who is the cause of another becoming powerful is the agent of his own ruin. By keeping a status hedger in your inner circle, you are teaching everyone else that your loyalty is cheap. You are telling your rivals that they can insult you with zero consequences from your supposed allies. You are building your house on sand, and you're wondering why the walls are cracking. Do not be fooled by that private apology. That is the hedger's tax. They are paying you in private sympathy, so they can keep their public access to your enemy. They want to keep their hand on your shoulder while keeping their feet in the enemy's camp. They are hedging their bets because they aren't sure if you're going to survive the social fallout, and they don't want to be caught standing next to a sinking ship. The status hedger is a master of the pivot. They are the first ones to tell you they have your back, but they are also the first ones to find a reason to be busy when the work of loyalty actually begins. They want the perks of your friendship without the risks of your enemies. They want your secrets, your resources, and your association, but they refuse to pay the loyalty tax. They think they can have a seat at every table. Machiavelli would tell you to kick their chair out from under them. A person who is friends with your enemy is not neutral. They are a scout for the opposition. They are providing the other side with a window into your world while telling you they are just being fair. You are currently subsidizing your own isolation because you are terrified of being difficult. You believe that by being the low-maintenance friend, the one who never asks for a public stand, the one who accepts "I'm staying out of it" as a valid answer, you are proving your maturity. You aren't. You are proving your insignificance. The status hedger doesn't respect your understanding nature. They exploit it. They know they can disrespect your loyalty and still keep your friendship as a safety net. They are using your integrity to fund their cowardice. This behavior keeps looping because you are addicted to the idea of having a large circle. You would rather have 10 hedgers than 2 true allies because the number makes you feel secure. It's an illusion. 10 people who stay neutral when you're being attacked are actually 10 witnesses for the prosecution. They provide the social proof that you deserve what's happening to you. If your own friends won't stand up for you, the rest of the world assumes you must be in the wrong. Your loyal circle is actually the very thing that validates your social destruction. Look at your call logs. Look at who reaches out to you only when they need a favor, or only when you've achieved something that reflects well on them. These are the fair weather strategists. They aren't interested in your journey, they are interested in the destination. They are the spectators who want a front row seat to your success but want to be nowhere near the stadium during your struggle. They are hedging their emotional bets. They give you just enough attention to keep you on the hook, but never enough to actually commit to your defense. The harsh truth you don't want to hear is that you are the one keeping this person in power. You are the one providing the status they are hedging. You are the one who continues to give them access to your inner thoughts, your home, and your resources, despite their demonstrated lack of spine. You are rewarding their indecision with your absolute certainty. You are giving a king's ransom of trust to a common merchant. Stop being a discounted friend. Stop being the person who is always available, always understanding, and always willing to forgive a lack of loyalty. When you stop being useful to a status hedger, you will see their true face. It won't be a face of anger. It will be a face of total indifference. They will simply stop calling. They will stop responding. They will drift toward the next person who can provide them with the social yield they crave. They aren't leaving because you did something wrong. They are leaving because the contract of your utility has expired. They were never in your life for you. They were in your life for what you represented. Machiavelli understood that a prince must always be suspicious of those who show too much zeal in his service. He knew that extreme helpfulness is often the most effective mask for extreme ambition. When someone is too eager to protect you from imaginary threats, they are usually the ones creating the climate of fear. They want you to feel fragile, paranoid, and dependent. Because a person who feels safe doesn't need a protector. A person who is well connected doesn't need a gatekeeper. They are currently performing a social lobotomy on your life, cutting away your connections until they are the only thing left. Sign 3, the unsolicited shield, the aggressive protector. This is the most dangerous predator because they use your own safety as the weapon. They don't attack you, they attack your enemies. They often manufacture or exaggerate to keep you in a state of high alert. You think their constant reports of gossip or disrespect are signs of loyalty. Machiavelli would see it as a strategic isolation tactic designed to make you a hostage of their honesty. Think about the protector in your circle. Notice how they always seem to be at the center of every conflict you have with others. They are the ones who relayed the message that offended you. They are the ones who warned you about that new opportunity. Ask yourself, is your life getting bigger and more powerful with them around? Or is it getting smaller, quieter, and more paranoid? The unsolicited shield feeds on your insecurity. They need you to be afraid so they can be necessary. If you ever realized how capable you actually are, their job would be over. So they keep you weak by convincing you that everyone else is a snake. This person is a master of triangulation. They stay in the middle, controlling the flow of information between you and the rest of the world. They tell you what they said, and then they go back to them and tell them what you said, usually twisted just enough to create a small spark of friction. They are the arsonist who wants to be thanked for calling the fire department. By keeping everyone at odds, they become the only stable point in your life. It is a cold, Machiavellian play for total psychological dominance. You have been rewarding this suffocation with your absolute reliance. You check with them before you make a move. You ask them what the vibe is before you enter a room. You have outsourced your intuition to a person who has a vested interest in making you fail. Machiavelli warned that he who relies on the protection of others will find himself a slave to their whims. You are currently a slave to the reports of a person who is using your fear to build their own importance. They don't want you to be a king. They want you to be a patient. The aggressive protector is terrified of your independence. The moment you start making your own friends, the moment you start ignoring the gossip they bring you, their mask will slip. They will become hurt. They will say, after everything I've done to protect you, this is how you treat me. They will weaponize their service to make you feel like a traitor for simply being free. This is the ultimate telltale sign. Real loyalty seeks to make you stronger and more connected. Fake loyalty seeks to make you a solitary island that they alone can inhabit. You need to perform a system reset. Stop thanking them for the warnings. The next time they bring you a piece of gossip, say, I'm not interested in what people say behind my back. I'm only interested in what they do to my face. Watch the panic in their eyes. Watch them struggle to maintain control. When the fear fuel is cut off, you must reclaim your perimeter. You must stop letting people protect you from things you are perfectly capable of handling yourself. A shield that is too heavy becomes a weight that drags you to the bottom. This is the end of the audit. You have seen the three patterns. You have identified the mirror, the hedger, and the shield. The tightness you feel in your chest right now is the realization that you have been subsidizing your own destruction. You have been inviting the wolf to dinner and wondering why the meat is always missing. Machiavelli did not write these truths to make you a cynic. He wrote them to make you a sovereign. He wrote them so you would stop being a good person long enough to become a powerful one. If you have realized that your protector is actually your jailer, drop this in the comments. I am reclaiming my perimeter. You've stayed until the end. That requires a level of discipline that 99% of the people on this platform do not possess. Most people clicked away the moment the truth got too uncomfortable. They went back to their safe delusions and their mirrored friendships. But you didn't. You sat through the audit. You faced the cold reality of your circle. You have earned the right to move forward. Liking this video and subscribing to this channel isn't a favor to me, it is an alignment with the truth. It is a commitment to yourself that you will never again be the victim of a silent tell. It is the signal that you are ready to stop being a courtier and start being an architect. If you want the deeper mechanics, the scripts that are too dangerous for the public algorithm, and the insights that the moral performers want banned, click the join button. Step into the inner circle. That is where the architects meet. That is where we discuss the moves others aren't even aware exist. The world doesn't reward the hopeful. It rewards the perceptive. Open your eyes, audit your table, and remember, the knife never comes from the front. I will see you in the next video.